groups trying to kick President Obama off the ballot went as far as sending him a subpoena ordering him to be in court today. So that meant the defense table was empty in front of Fulton County Judge Michael Malahai. The gist of the argument he heard was that since one of President Obama's parents was not a legal citizen, the president does not fit the court-defined definition of a natural-born citizen. In a letter to the Georgia Secretary of State trying to get this case thrown out, the president's lawyer said there is no legitimate issue here. He said the state of Hawaii has produced an official record of birth. But witnesses here today said that document is a Photoshop fraud. They produced evidence, they say, shows the president's Social Security number is also a fake and actually belongs to someone born in 1890.
Barack Obama's father was not a citizen of the United States ever, certainly during the time period when Barack Obama was born. I don't think that's ever been disputed by the defendant himself, and that means that he is not constitutionally qualified to hold office. It's not a statement about his ability, it's a statement about his constitutional qualifications.
President Barack Obama was a no-show today at a Fulton County hearing about his citizenship. 3 different groups are suing to get the president kicked off the ballot in Georgia. One even went as far as giving him a subpoena, trying to force him into court. Fox 5's Chris Shaw picks up the story from there.
Every seat in this Fulton County courtroom was taken Thursday morning, except the ones where President Obama's lawyers were supposed to be sitting. They called this hearing baseless and didn't see the need to show up.
He is not constitutionally qualified to hold office. It's not a statement about his ability, it's a statement about his constitutional qualifications.
The arguments for 3 different lawsuits were made before Fulton County Administrative Judge Michael Malahai, and the main point behind each one is the claim that President Obama's father was never a U.S. citizen. These attorneys then argued, based on court precedent, that a person can only be a natural-born citizen if both parents were citizens. In a letter to Georgia Secretary of State, an Obama lawyer wrote, the state of Hawaii produced official records documenting birth there. The president made documents available to the general public by placing them on his website. But witnesses testified that birth certificate and even the president's Social Security number are fakes.
Anybody who has half a brain in his head, listening to what all of those witnesses were saying, can see that there is a reasonable doubt. You've seen an immigration officer saying this man is using a Social Security number from the state of Connecticut, where he never resided.
It was a packed courtroom, and those who filed suit alleging President Obama is not a U.S. citizen and should be kept off the primary ballot in Georgia because of that. One witness testified that President Obama's father wasn't a citizen. He was a citizen of Africa. Others testified there were signs that President Obama had a fraudulent Social Security number. The counsel to the president has asked the Georgia Secretary of State to intervene and bring these lawsuits to a halt, arguing that courts have already determined across the country and other courts that there's no validity to these claims. Those representing those filing suit argue otherwise.
This man is a complete fraud. He is using a forged birth certificate. He is using a stolen Social Security number. This is unacceptable. This man is just making a joke out of this country.
Now, the judge asked all of the attorneys to file briefs by February 5th. He is then expected to make a ruling after that. We are live in downtown Atlanta. Carol Sparks, Channel 2 Action News.